Kia ora, and welcome to Without Borders, your fortnightly dose of real people, real conversations, and a little bit of real estate. Hello, I'm William Tatana of Team William Tatana at the Ray White Damerald Group. Now, I've had a rich and colourful career in the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. And I've met some fantastic and wonderful people along the way who have contributed and shaped me into the person that I am today. I'd like to share those people with you because we can all learn and be better human beings. Without Borders will inform, educate, and entertain you over 20 minutes. Good people have a story to share and a lesson to learn. Today we have Helen Northey from Prestige Products. So Helen, g'day, and how you doing today?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. And you?
Yeah, awesome, mate. Hey, listen, tell me a bit of a background about yourself and about probably your experiences that you've gone through life. And I know that you immigrated out here to New Zealand quite a while ago.
Quite a while.
So tell us about your background.
Well, I was actually born in Canada. That's a bit of a secret.
Oh, you're a Canadian.
I'm not a Canadian. I'm very Irish. My parents travelled to Canada and spent a few years there when they were first married. My older brother and I were born there. Then they returned to Ireland and I was raised in Dublin.
Wow.
In Dublin's fair city.
Yep.
And I left there more years ago than I'm prepared to admit, and spent a few years in London, then 10 years in Sydney, and I've been in Auckland now a little over 25 years.
25 years.
So actually I've lived longer here than anywhere else. And I love it.
Yeah, very
And
good.
I'm not going anywhere.
No, very good.
So I spent a lifetime in the retail industry, in buying,
Yep.
sourcing and marketing merchandise for department stores in London, Sydney and Auckland.
Okay.
And
So you've travelled the world then?
extensively and frequently.
Okay.
Yeah, I would travel 10 to 12 times a year.
Right.
To the States, Europe, the East, researching trends, getting ideas, and sourcing merchandise.
Sourcing merchandise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to tell me a little bit more about, so when you're buying on behalf of a company, they will say, look, we need more stock of X, Y, Z, and you're going to the supplier. What's the process in actually acquiring that stock? Because you're going to have to negotiate on price, timing, shipping costs, and it has to also match a season,
All of
particularly
Yep.
for retail. So tell me a bit
Yep.
about the process.
If I take it back to bare bones, my job was to buy product and sell it for enough more than we paid for it
Obviously.
to satisfy the shareholders.
Okay.
It was as simple as that. So while product was a huge part of it, financial management was actually probably the biggest part. So each year I would be set a budget,
Yep.
X number of dollars in sales and profit, which was then split down into the various categories. So the last 10 years I spent in homewares. So
Right.
X amount for beds and fridges and TVs and Manchester and small appliances and homewares. And there was a buyer for each of those categories.
Right.
We would then work up a range plan
Yeah.
for what we planned to sell, which determined what we had to buy.
Right.
That would be in dollar terms. And then that kept getting refined and refined and refined down to product. It was, very much ongoing daily planning.
Sure.
And so in terms of sourcing merchandise, depending on their category, there's branded products, where someone owns the brand, Fisher and Paykel.
Yep.
And so at that time, we sourced our whiteware from Fisher and Paykel.
Mm-hmm.
Samsung for TVs, Sunbeam for kettles. Not a huge amount of branded product in homewares. So all of that, we actually, probably the best word to use is to say we contracted factories to manufacture. We would say, we want that mug, and our target price is this. It needs to be this material, and we want this quantity. And so at any given time, there were a million moving parts with all the different products being sampled, approved, produced, shipped, distributed to stores, marketed. Always ongoing.
Sure.
So quite complex. Huge dollar values involved. So couldn't afford to make too many mistakes, but couldn't be boring. So it was necessary to take risks.
Right.
To make the offer exciting, enticing, interesting.
Okay.
So, yeah, juggling.
Right.
Yeah.
With regards to taking risks, you obviously you started your own business, Prestige Products. Can you tell us why you went into that business and why you even started a business?
Okay, well, first I bought the business. It was an existing business.
Okay.
That was 7 years ago, and for reasons I won't bore you with, I found myself unemployed, and I can't not work. I would be bored to tears.
Yep.
So unemployed and pretty much unemployable in New Zealand. Both for the type of work that I'd done and, shall I say, the type of personality that I have. So I decided I needed to find something to do for myself. Didn't know what it was going to be. This business came across a friend's desk. She emailed it to me. I looked at it and I thought, I can do that. It's merchandise. I understand it.
Yes.
And I think I can do a good job and I can help people here. So no burning desire to get into the industry, but a matter of transferable skills.
Yeah.
And I felt it was something I could do. And I've really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Obviously on a much smaller scale.
Sure.
But I have to do everything. I don't have an accounts team and a shipping team and a legal team and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm enjoying it. On the upside of that, I don't have meetings either.
Oh, just with yourself and a coffee.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, when you started the business, when you bought the business, sorry about that, who helped you the most when you first started?
You know, that's an interesting question. Initially, I more or less had to get permission from my accountant to buy the business because I'd looked at a couple of others and the numbers were dodgy at best. So I got permission, I bought the business, I started, and I'm the first to admit, for the first 1 to 2 years, I did flounder. I was working with the existing client base that remained with me, trying hard to get new customers, but not doing terribly well. And it's a very competitive industry. And the truth of the matter is I really didn't know how to pitch myself.
Okay.
And then I joined BNI.
Okay.
And you know what BNI is, Business Networking International, a networking group with chapters all over the world. And suddenly I found I was surrounded by people who knew what they were doing in their various industries, whether it was real estate, law, accountancy, whatever, many, many other professions. And I learned so much from that group about how to pitch myself. And that really was the beginning of moving forward.
Yeah.
I worked with Glenn Marvin from Connector on SEO.
Yes.
Because I was fed up of being ripped off and paying quite a lot of money for very little return when I outsourced it. And that was probably the single biggest change for me in terms of moving forward. And then just got so much, I would say, inspiration rather than advice from other people in the group, seeing what they were doing, bouncing ideas off them, helping them, helping me, and it just started to fall into place.
Right. No worries. What's the sort of a process that you take people? So, in other words, a business owner, or it doesn't matter who approaches you from a business, says, hey, look, we really want our brand to be remembered, because that's the reason why you're in promotional products, is the brand to be either highlighted, remembered, or top of mind. What's the process that you take them through?
Well, first, I want to understand about their business.
Okay.
Who are they? What do they do? Where are they pitched in the market? What are their brand values? And so if it's an email or a phone call, I will Google and see if they have an online presence. That way I immediately get a feel and I can see how many colours are in their logo and what it looks like. However, that only happens about a third of the time. So I'll ask them questions, and most importantly, who's the product for?
Right.
So you, for example, I see you're holding a pen. If you want to buy some pens from me, my first question, I understand your business and your brand position, but my first question is, who are the pens for? Are you going to be using them at open homes where potentially you could be giving away 50 in a weekend? Or are you going to be giving them to valued clients that it's really important that you make a lasting memory with them? Because that should determine the budget.
Yes.
And it's important to not overspend and not underspend. I want you to get the best value for money, you know, and that whatever you spend on your products delivers the best return for you.
Yeah.
So, it's all about who are you, where are you positioned, what's your objective in giving merchandise away, who are you giving it to, and what do you want them to do with it?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I got that. That's really good.
Yeah.
Who's the trickiest customer you've ever dealt with? The trickiest one?
I've had a lot of tricky customers, but the trickiest product was an awards night for a franchise building company, and they wanted carved wooden sticks to give out as prizes. And the sticks had to have a plaque with the name of the recipient engraved on it. Wow. So that was a tricky one. First, I had to find someone in Rotorua to carve the sticks, because none of the companies I was previously dealing with worked with a product like this. And then get the stainless plates made and curved so that they would fit into the stick, and a groove cut in the stick to attach them to, and obviously get them engraved with the recipient's names. So that one was a bit of a hope this works. They looked fabulous. Yes,
Fantastic.
I was very happy with them. Yeah.
Helen, I want to thank you for taking the time today to talk to us on Without Borders. How do people find you?
People find me by Googling the product that they're looking for, promotional products. And I have, as I said, quite good SEO results. So very often they'll be looking at printed pens or coffee cups, umbrellas, whatever it might be. Or they simply plug www.prestigeproducts.co.nz.
That's very good.
Into their search engine.
Excellent.
And there I am.
Helen Northey, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Without Borders and my special guest today. If you need help on your property journey or to be a guest on the podcast, I'd love to talk to you. Just get in touch with teamwilliamtatana.co.nz. Join me in 2 weeks for another episode of Without Borders, William Tatana and Friends.